Hello and welcome to today's episode of Knobi Cooks. Today I will show you how to prepare a sage potato gratin. Not only will you learn the basics of gratin making, you will also learn the secrets behind the special sauce, combining sage, cream and Parmesan cheese to something truly special. If you enjoy my content, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. So for starters, make sure you have all your ingredients ready. As you can see, I have prepared mine from potatoes to cream, from spices to pots. It's all here. As most of the time, we start by first dicing our onion. I have already skinned mine. Now I will halve it, then cut across it laterally and afterwards simply dice it up. If you want to add some texture to your sauce, then go for bigger dices, and if you want to have a smoother sauce, then simply go for smaller dices. After that, we will do the same thing with our garlic cloves, and when we have finished with the garlic, we will add both onions and garlic into our pot. After that, simply turn on your stovetop so we can start sauteing both garlic and onion. Since I always prepare my onion to be ready for cutting, you never actually see me skinning it. Here's a little trick when it comes to skinning onions. Make a cut through the outermost onion skin along the whole length of the onion. This way you can easily peel off the leathery outer shells. And if an onion resists your peeling efforts, most of the time it's simply easier to peel off an additional skin rather than tediously peeling off a stubborn skin. But that's just my 2 cents when it comes to peeling onions. If you have your own method that works fine, do it your way. Once both garlic and onion are waiting to sizzle, we can turn our attention to the potatoes. Well, and what is there to say about peeling potatoes? Simply take your potato peeler of choice and then go around the whole potato until you see only yellow left. If there are any dents, discolored spots or bad spots, simply cut them out afterwards. I'm using the same type of old school potato peeler my mom is using and has basically always used. The only difference being her potato peeler is so old that it still has printed "Made in West Germany" on it. You cannot imagine how many potatoes got peeled by this peeler. And now, while peeling your potatoes, you should take a look at the onion and the garlic from time to time. Once they look quite glassy and maybe start browning a little bit, it's time to season them. You will need sage, I'm using dried sage here, ground chili, ground pepper, and of course some vegetable broth. Once it's all in your pot, stir the contents of your pot so spices and herbs also get sauteed. But take care so they don't burn. If you have fresh sage at hand for this dish, I highly recommend you use that. There's one issue when it comes to using home dried herbs. They might get very hard or have sticks and stems in them, which might be quite pointy. Something like rosemary, for example, will get very hard, which makes cutting or shredding it quite difficult. Sage leaves, on the other hand, will have sticks in it, and if you don't take them out, they too will get very hard and end up in your dried sage. So if you have a balcony, a terrace or a garden and like cooking, then I would highly recommend you to plant some herbs. This will greatly improve your cooking experience. After a short while of also sauteing your herbs and spices, add a good swig of water into your pot. Then you can also add your cream cheese into your pot and bring your sauce to a boil. And if you're peeling your potatoes as fast as I'm doing it, which is not very fast, then go back to peeling your potatoes in the meantime. We want to have finished peeling the potatoes as soon as our sauce is truly boiling. If you have difficulties judging the amount of water you should add into your pot, here is a hint. Add as much liquid into your pot as you think you will need to submerge the potatoes once they are stacked in your casserole dish or your pan. For me, it roughly amounted to 3/4 of a liter to about a liter of water. But also don't add too much. We basically want our potatoes to be just submerged in our sauce, but we don't want too much sauce on top of our potatoes. Then, once the sauce is boiling and you have peeled all of your potatoes, you can get your pan or casserole dish ready. We are almost ready to prepare our gratin. Before we move to that step, we first will turn on the heat in our oven. Set your oven to 200 degrees Celsius, that's 392 degrees Fahrenheit, top and bottom heat. Once you have done that, you can turn your attention to your potatoes. We now want to cut our potatoes in about equally thick slices. This way we ensure that all slices are cooked at the same rate and none will end up hard or too soggy. As a general rule, I would say go for as thin slices as you can, while also making sure that your potato slices don't fold. You still want them to keep their shape. You can then either cut all of them at once and then put them in your pan, or simply cut portion after portion of potatoes and then stack them in your pan. Since I am presenting this to you as a normal weekday dinner, I'm not taking too much care when it comes to stacking. I only make sure that each potato slice is about parallel to the other potato slices in my pan. Though if you are cooking for guests or want to impress someone, you could go for more solid stacking. Or if you prefer chaos, then simply throw all of your potato slices at some strange angle in your pan. This also works. No matter which way you choose, repeat this process until you have no potato slices left. Now very few steps remain, the next of which is adding the sauce into your pan or casserole dish. Pour the sauce gently over your gratin so the neatly stacked potatoes don't get flushed away. And then gently spread onions, herbs and garlic on top of the potatoes. As you can see, my potatoes are not totally submerged, though that's nothing to worry about. With sour cream and Parmesan on top and the sauce expanding, they will still get cooked properly. Speaking of which, next add the shaved Parmesan on top of your gratin. Try to spread it as equally as possible. If you want to go for a more continuous Parmesan crust on top of your gratin, you could also use shredded Parmesan. Simply keep in mind that shredded Parmesan is usually a little bit harder to clean off. And once the Parmesan cheese is on top of your gratin, only one ingredient remains, which is our sour cream, or more precise, our heavy sour cream, called Schmand in Germany. Here simply spread some blots of sour cream all over your gratin. Make sure to hit every corner of your pan or casserole dish, which is quite ironic in my case because my pan doesn't have corners. And that's it, you have done your part of the work. Now it's time to hand your gratin over to your oven. Put it in there and then let it bake. Because we are preparing our gratin with raw potatoes, the gratin will take quite a while, so be patient. I would let it bake for a minimum of 45 minutes, though I would rather give it an hour. If you are very impatient, you can test your potatoes from time to time using a fork. If a skewered potato slice still feels hard, then you still need to give your potato gratin some time. Though trust me, this gratin is worth the waiting. If the top of your gratin happens to be browning too much too fast, you can cover it with tin foil or aluminium foil. This way you can ensure that your gratin top won't burn. Then, once you're certain that your potatoes have baked for enough time, take it out and enjoy your gratin. This then brings us to the end of today's episode of Knobi Cooks. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe, and if you have made it yourself, tell me down below in the comments how this gratin tasted for you. I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye.